Australians spend as much as 8 hours a week waiting. Nobody likes to be kept waiting. It's boring, time wasting, and sometimes physically uncomfortable. Delays can also affect customer attitudes towards and evaluations of a service and decrease customer loyalty. Yet we accept queuing as a means by which service providers deal with customers equitably. Virtually every service organisation faces the problem of waiting lines somewhere in its operation. People are kept waiting on the phone listening to pre-recorded messages. We line up at the supermarket to pay for our groceries. We queue to get into a theatre, concert or football match. And we often wait for a very long time in waiting rooms of doctors and dentists. Physical and inanimate objects wait for processing too. Customers' emails sit in customer service staff's inboxes. Appliances wait to be repaired, and cheques wait to be cleared at a bank. In each instance, a customer may be waiting for the outcome of that work, such as an answer to the email, an appliance that is working again, and a cheque credited to the customer's balance. Effectively managing customer waits is particularly crucial due to the importance of first impressions to customer perceptions at the service experience. First impressions are long-lasting and can dramatically affect customer evaluations of the total experience, regardless of how good the service is after the wait.
This is Eyewitness News. Now, Mark Brown, Michelle Tuzzi, and Dallas Raines with the Southland's #1 news at 4.
Sounds almost too good to be true. We all know the frustration of driving around a parking lot trying to find an empty space. Eyewitness News reporter Leo Stallworth tells us at the Westfield shopping town Century City, they just installed some new high-tech equipment to help solve that.
The Westfield shopping town Century City is the first in the nation to use the Park Assist electronic parking management system. Westfield officials say it's designed to do one thing: help you find a parking spot within 2 minutes, even if the shopping center is crowded. Westfield debuted the system last week. They say customers love it.
When you hear compliments about parking, about how it cuts their time in half, how they are able to enjoy their time shopping rather than searching for a parking spot, that is just music to our ears.
And the response globally has been fantastic. In England, in Europe, in Australia as well, we've seen rises of 2, 3, 4%. More people coming to shopping centers just like this.
So how does the system work? Well, officials here at Westfield say when you come to their parking garage, all you have to do is look up at the entrance board at level A or level B, and the numbers on the board indicate just how many spaces are available at that particular time. So when you drive into the garage, you can find a parking spot very quickly. Each parking spot in the garage has a sensor that detects vehicles and transmits data in real time to lights that immediately turn green if a space is available and red if it's not. The sensors constantly send updated information to the entrance board. We spoke to several shoppers.
It's made finding a parking spot so much more easier. I've just been able to just look overhead and go straight to a spot.
I think it's really great. It's going to save a lot of time at the holidays, and my friends like it, and I'm liking it too.
Westfield officials wouldn't talk specifics about the cost of the system, but they say it's proven cost-effective because it appears more shoppers have visited the mall since the system was put in place. They say they're considering whether to put it in their other shopping center garages throughout Southern California. In Century City, Leo Stallworth, ABC 7, Eyewitness News.
The problem of reducing customer waiting time often requires a multi-pronged strategy. Increasing capacity simply by adding more space or more staff is not always the optimal solution in situations in which customer satisfaction must be balanced against cost considerations. Managers should consider a variety of alternatives, including rethinking the design of the queuing system, installing a reservation system, tailoring the queuing system to different market segments, managing customers' behaviours and their perceptions of the wait, and redesigning processes to shorten the time of each transaction. There are a variety of different types of queues, and the challenge for managers is to select the most appropriate configuration. There are single line sequential stages, parallel lines to multi-servers, or a single line to multi-service. There's designated lines involving assigning different lines to specific categories of customers. There's a take a number system, which saves the customers the need to stand in a queue because they know they will be called in sequence. But not all queuing systems work on a first-come, first-served basis. Market segmentation is sometimes used to design queuing strategies that set different priorities for different types of customers. These may be based on the urgency of a job, the duration of the service transaction, payment of a premium price, or the importance of the customer.
News, the news watched by more people in the tri-state area.
We've all been there. You go there after work, wait in a long line inside the grocery store trying to get your dinner, and the line seems to last forever.
One supermarket, though, now using an innovative approach, including line directors to keep customers moving. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson with the new meaning for express checkout.
37, 23, sir. Next aisle on your right, number 23.
At Whole Foods, the business of lines is serious business.
Our line directors, they're trained, they're at the top of their game. This is what they do all day.
That's right, line directors, here to make sure you get in and out of the line quick. At Columbus Circle, the goal is in less than 5 minutes. After all, dealing with this...
It's a little chaotic, especially in the evening. It's hard to say whether the 10 items or less is shorter or the other one is shorter.
There is a method to what seems like madness. This is the single line layout. There is express and local. A line director watches for a flashing light and then guides you to one of 41 open registers. Bimini Hayes considers the line a living entity.
Depending on how many people are in the line, we will change the configuration of the line. So if local is moving a little slower, we'll take more registers from the express side and we'll give those to local.
This is just one model. Different locations call for different setups. Designs which some critics say simply don't work.
You have one line.
Ben Yehuda runs Qnami. Experts tell businesses how to better manage the flow of customers. He gives Whole Foods an A for the single line approach, but gives the market a failing grade for its Union Square design, an automated system with multiple lines.
It is making the situation not equal, and on top of it, I think the most important thing, a customer is going to that cashier, he has a dilemma, he has to choose, and we try to prevent those type of dilemmas in a service environment.
In other words, with multiple lines and varying items in carts, it can be deceptive. The shortest line doesn't mean it's the fastest. In Union Square, Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Hope everyone does it.
Yeah, the comic book that has one teacher out of a job. We've got that story coming up.
Plus painful injuries from items sold on the street.
David Meister and other researchers have the following summary suggestions on how to use the psychology of waiting to make waiting time more pleasant for customers. Unoccupied time feels longer than occupied time. When you are sitting around with nothing to do, time seems to crawl. The challenge for service organisations is to give the customer something to do or to distract them while they are waiting. For example, some car wash companies now have a cafe on site, and customers can have a complimentary coffee, purchase snacks, and enjoy a daily newspaper and wireless internet access while waiting for their car to be washed and polished. Pre- and post-process waits feel longer than in-process waits. There is a difference between waiting to buy a ticket to enter a theme park and waiting to get on a particular ride once you are in the park. There is also a difference between waiting for tea or coffee to arrive near the end of a restaurant meal and waiting for the waiter to bring you the bill once you are ready to leave. Anxiety makes waits seem longer. Can you remember waiting for someone to show up for a date and worrying whether or not you had the correct time and location? When waiting at unfamiliar locations, especially outdoors and after dark, people often also worry about their personal safety. Uncertain waits seem longer than known, finite waits. Although any wait may be frustrating, we can usually adjust mentally to wait of a known length. It is the unknown that keeps us on edge. Imagine waiting at a major airport for a delayed flight and not being told how long the delay is going to be. You cannot know whether you have the time to get up and walk around the terminal or whether to stay in case the flight is called. Unexplained waits seem longer than explained waits. Have you ever been on a train or in a lift that has stopped for no apparent reason without anyone telling you what is going on? Not only is there uncertainty about the length of the wait, but there is also added worry about the cause. Has there been an accident? Will you have to make an emergency exit from the train, or has the lift broken? Unfair waits seem longer than equitable waits. Expectations about what is fair or unfair vary from one culture or country to another. For instance, most people in Australia and New Zealand expect everybody to wait their turn in line and are likely to become irritated if they see others jumping ahead or being given priority for no apparent reason, though there may be cultural reasons, which is why this is happening. Solo waits feel longer than group waits. Waiting with one or more people you know is reassuring. Conversation with friends can help to pass the time, but not everyone is comfortable talking to a stranger. Physically uncomfortable waits feel longer than comfortable waits. "My feet are killing me" is one of the most frequently heard comments when people are forced to stand in line for a long time. And whether seated or unseated, a wait seems more burdensome if the temperature is too hot or too cold, if it is too windy or close, and if there is no protection from the rain or the sun. And unfamiliar waits seem longer than familiar ones. Frequent users of a service know what to expect and are less likely to worry while waiting. New or occasional users of a service, by contrast, are often nervous, wondering not only about the probable length of the wait, but also about what happens next.
The rides at Disneyland and Disney World are fun, but standing in long lines all day can be very frustrating. Luckily, Disney has a solution to this problem, the Fastpass. This video will teach you all about the Fastpass system so that you can make use of it on your next Disney vacation. Let's start with the basics. What is a Fastpass and how does it work? A Fastpass is a special ticket that allows you to skip the line at certain Disney attractions, usually the ones that tend to accumulate long lines throughout the day, like Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at the Magic Kingdom. You can see all the attractions that offer Fastpasses listed on your park map. To use the Fastpass service, first pick the ride that you would like a Fastpass for. There will be a sign saying Fastpass distribution along with the times that the Fastpass is being offered for. Simply go up to one of the machines and insert your park admission ticket. The machine will then print you a Fastpass ticket for this attraction. Make sure you get one Fastpass per person that will be riding the attraction, using each person's individual park entry ticket. Your Fastpass ticket will display a return time, which is a 1-hour time window that tells you when you can return to ride the attraction using your Fastpass. All you need to do now is find other things to do until your Fastpass becomes usable. Here's the catch. You can only have one Fastpass at a time. This prevents guests from going crazy and hoarding all the Fastpasses in the park. The system will start granting you new Fastpasses after the time indicated on your ticket. This will either be the same as the return time also listed on your ticket, or 2 hours after the Fastpass was obtained, whichever comes first. Using your Fastpass is just as simple as obtaining it. When the return time comes, go back to the attraction and show your Fastpass to the Disney cast member at the entrance. You'll be granted entry into a separate queue that will have little to no wait at all. Be sure to hold on to your Fastpass because another employee will collect it from you before you can ride. After you've enjoyed your ride, repeat the process, skipping as many lines as possible. The biggest benefit of this service is that it's completely free and it's included with your park admission, so be sure to take advantage of it.